Hi, everyone. I'm Mia, and today we have one of the most unique guests in all of history, someone whose smile has captivated minds for centuries. Ladies and gentlemen, Mona Lisa.
Hello, Mia. Hello to all the viewers. I'm thrilled to be here, after centuries, finally appearing on a show and speaking for myself.
I think the whole world knows your smile, but very few have actually talked to you. Before we dive in, if you're excited to explore scientific, philosophical, and artistic concepts that always seemed mysterious, explained in clear, simple language, make sure to subscribe to our channel. This is just the start of our deep conversations. All right, let's start with the question that's always sparked debate. Who is the Mona Lisa, really? Were you a real person, or just an imaginary figure from Leonardo da Vinci's mind?
That's a question so many have asked, even scholars and historians. The truth is, there's no definitive answer. Some say I'm Lisa del Giocondo, the wife of a merchant from Florence. Others believe I'm a blend of multiple faces, painted by Leonardo as a vision of perfection. And some even think I might be Leonardo himself, portrayed in a feminine form. But if you ask me, I'd say I'm not just one person. I'm Leonardo's thought, brought to life. He wasn't trying to capture a single human smile. He was chasing the mystery of humanity itself.
So you're more like the symbol of an idea, not a specific person.
That's how I see it. My smile is a boundary between certainty and mystery. I'm smiling, yet not quite. I'm joyful, yet a little sad. Like life itself, I'm never fully knowable.
All right, Mona Lisa, let's get to the juicy part. Are there really hidden codes and messages in Leonardo's paintings? Or have people just watched the Da Vinci Code too many times and mixed everything up with conspiracies?
Well, honestly, a lot of those theories are exaggerated, but there's truth at their core. Leonardo had a layered mind. Painter, engineer, inventor, philosopher, even musician. To him, a painting wasn't just an image, it was a coded notebook for minds willing to think deeply.
Let's start with the most famous one, The Last Supper. People always say there's a hidden code in it. For example, some claimed the figure on the right side of Jesus is a woman, not a man. Is that true?
Yes, that theory is about the figure of John the Apostle, who some believe is actually Mary Magdalene. But Leonardo never spelled things out. He played with ambiguity. If you look closely, the positioning of Jesus and the figure beside him forms a V shape, a feminine symbol in philosophical symbolism. On the other hand, Jesus's body and the background behind him create a triangle, a masculine symbol of balance. So the whole composition is a dance between dualities, feminine and masculine, spirit and matter, reason and love.
So that scene isn't just the Last Supper, it's a metaphor for the inner balance of humanity?
Exactly. Leonardo was painting a philosophy, not just a religious narrative, through the arrangement of bodies and lines.
Another one of his famous works is the Vitruvian Man, that figure inside a circle and a square. It's often said to be just an anatomical drawing, but is it really that simple?
Not at all. That drawing is actually Leonardo's philosophical statement about the universe and humanity. The circle represents the heavens, the infinite, the spirit. And the human figure in the center is the link between earth and sky, body and soul. That drawing screams, man is not the center of the universe, but a bridge between earth and heavens. And here's a fun fact. Leonardo used numbers and the golden ratio precisely in that design. He was both an artist and a mathematician.
Another work that doesn't get talked about as much is Lady with an Ermine. What's the deal with that animal in her arms?
That's one of Leonardo's coded masterpieces. In those days, an ermine was a symbol of purity and nobility, as it was said to prefer death over soiling itself. But there's more. The woman's name was Cecilia Gallerani, and the Greek word gal means ermine. So the animal is both a spiritual symbol and a clever wordplay. Leonardo loved these layered meanings. It's like he was saying, everything looks simple, but it holds multiple codes within.
Before we dive into the mysteries of your painting, hold on a second. You know, many of the codes Leonardo hid in his paintings were meant for those who look closely. If you're one of those people who love to see beneath the surface, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. I promise every episode of Mia Talks will feel like opening a new door in your mind. All right, back to Leonardo and his mysteries. So, Mona Lisa, let's talk about you. The background of your painting has always been a topic of debate. Why is one side calm and green while the other is dry and dark? There's a mystery there too. The left side represents life and balance, water, mountains, and a clear sky. The right side represents the passage of time and decay, a lifeless, rugged nature. So I sit in the middle of the outer world and the inner world. My eyes are precisely on the axis between these two worlds, like a bridge between reality and the mind. And that famous gaze, it always feels like it's following the viewer. Is that a coincidence or intentional? Completely intentional. Leonardo used a technique called sfumato, shadows without borders. That makes my eyes seem alive from every angle. It's like an old-school version of virtual reality, playing with human perception. One last one. Virgin of the Rocks, that religious painting with the Virgin Mary. They say the faces in it are very mysterious, like they carry a special combination of symbols. That's right. That painting has two versions, each with subtle differences. Leonardo used light and shadow in a way that makes the viewer feel like they're in another dimension. Even the positioning of Mary's and the Christ child's hands forms specific geometric patterns, symbolizing divine order in nature. For Leonardo, light was a symbol of awareness. In all his paintings, the direction of light has meaning, a journey from darkness to illumination, like a path from ignorance to understanding. So there's really a philosophy woven into every one of his works, not just an image. Yes, but not in the way people often think. Leonardo didn't create codes to hide things. He created them to make minds look beyond the surface. He once told me, "Art is a science that is seen, but it is only understood with the heart." Leonardo spoke with colors, thought with shadows, and wrote philosophy with light. For him, coding was an invitation to see, not just to look. That was so poetic and beautiful. But there's a critical question, too. Some people say folks go overboard looking for hidden meanings, over-philosophizing everything. What's your take? I think truth is like the sea. Some wade in up to their knees, some up to their necks. Others dive in and drown. Everyone takes from a work what their own depth allows. That means neither overinterpreting nor seeing things too superficially is ideal. All right, let's get back to you. Over the centuries, they've run all sorts of tests on your painting, from X-rays to infrared. What have they actually discovered? Quite a lot. For example, by analyzing the paint layers, they found Leonardo used over 30 thin layers of color. He used a technique called sfumato, blending colors without clear boundaries. That's why you don't see sharp lines between my smile and the shadows. It's why my smile looks different from every angle. I've also heard the painting has changed over time. Its colors have darkened, and maybe even your smile has shifted. Exactly. Light, humidity, and even restorers have affected my appearance. But here's the fascinating part. With modern technology, they've shown that in the original version, my smile was wider, my face brighter. Maybe Leonardo decided to make me more mysterious over time, because he never chased clarity. He sought beautiful ambiguity. You know, Mona Lisa, we've been talking mostly about the mysteries and symbols in the paintings, but I have a more personal question. You spent years with Leonardo on that canvas. I know it's a weird question, but do you have any memories of him? Something only you would know? Yes, Mia, I do. You see, from the moment I was born on that canvas, I saw Leonardo sit beside me and talk. But one day, he told me a story from his youth that stayed with me forever. He said, years before I existed, a man from a village brought him a wooden shield to paint, thinking Leonardo would just draw a simple landscape. Leonardo said he got so excited and started creating a creature no one had ever seen. Its eyes came from a snake, its mouth from a wolf, its wings from a bat. He worked in complete silence for days until it was done. When the villager returned and saw the shield, he fell to the ground in fear and then ran away. Leonardo laughed so hard and realized he'd done his job perfectly. When he told me this, he still had that childlike grin. He paused for a moment and said,
Sometimes the scariest things are born from the most beautiful dreams, like a shadow that means nothing without light. Then he looked at me and added, "You, Mona Lisa, might be the opposite of that shield, calm and beautiful, but full of mysteries no one has dared to face without fear."
That's so like him. Even when he's trying to do someone a favor, he ends up scaring them.
He always wanted to show that beauty and fear come from the same source. It's just a matter of perspective. And, fun fact, years later, a writer named Giorgio Vasari wrote about this story in his famous book, Lives of the Most Excellent Painters, Sculptors, and Architects. Thank you, Mona Lisa, for breaking centuries of silence to talk with us. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to dive into the strangest, most philosophical, and mysterious perspectives from history and science in simple language, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. We've got more incredible guests coming up. And don't forget, every smile holds a mystery.